I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings, and those who worship me will live with me. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So in you see here in text 20 to 21 here how Srila Prabhupada Krishna himself is describing the temporal nature, or the rest of the verses really, the temporal nature of demigod worship, 20 to 21, right? When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to the material world. So that's the idea. So Prabhupada would often give that example of just 1 second. Yeah, wet stool, dry stool. Right? Pious activities still keep you in the material world. So that's the idea here. So the idea is that the demigod worship here is not wrong, but it is material and temporary. That's an important thing there. Right? Demigod worship is not wrong. You can also see even in Vrindavan, the gopis of Vrindavan, they worship the sun god, but the purpose is different, right? They worship sun god to get Krishna as their husband, whereas most conditioned human beings, they worship God for their own means. This is explained in the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. While heaven is enjoyable, it doesn't give liberation. We all know this, and it's only bhakti. And now Krishna says something very interesting in text number 22. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. Oh, Krishna, just 1 second. Okay.
Hare Krishna. The volume is low. I can't hear.
Okay. So Krishna says something interesting here. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. So the first thing that you'll see there is the theme that we've been speaking about quite often, the theme of being a person, being a person. And you can see here that Krishna reciprocates, right? He reciprocates. So this is personalism. So somebody can read the purport to this. It's a very beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Purpose. One who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day. Being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshiping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other services, cultivating friendship, and surrendering fully to the Lord. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potential, which makes the devotee perfect in self-realization, so that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. This is called yoga. By the mercy of the Lord, such a devotee never comes back to this material condition of life. Shema refers to the merciful protection of the Lord. The Lord helps the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga, and when he becomes fully Krishna conscious, the Lord protects him from falling down to a miserable condition life.
So there's a very interesting thing with this purport, Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada explains, so Krishna says, he gives that, he protects, he carries what the devotees lack.
Which chapter is that? Which text is that, sir?
What's the question?
No, I carry what the Lord, the one you just read just now. Which text is that?
Oh, the text that I just read.
Yes, yes.
Somebody wants to answer?
Yes, Prabhu.
Answer, please.
It's text 22, chapter 9, text 22.
Okay, thank you, Krishna.
All right, so let's go on. So Prabhupada is explaining here that Krishna gives the desire. I mean, Krishna gives the protection, but there should be desire, and we went to quite at length explaining that yesterday, the desire, and we compared the different. We made a contrast of the different spiritual groups, how they deal with desire, the Buddhists, the Mayavadis, and the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And then what Krishna does, I apologize, I'm in a new place now, so things are a little new here. Okay, so we are in text number 24. Oh yeah, so Krishna is describing how even the demigod worshippers are worshipping him indirectly. For instance, in the Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada explains that the worship of Ganesh, devotees can worship Ganesh, but as I explained, it's not for sense gratification, but it's for us to to progress in our Krishna consciousness, and that'll be based on the desire. So, and then the rest of in text number 24, 25, the Krishna explains how the destination matches the worship, right? If you buy a ticket to one destination, that's where you go. You don't get any other. You don't get to go to any other destination. So that's the idea there. In text number 25, Prabhupada, to those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghost and spirit will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. So that's the idea. Destination matches worship. There are many men who practice this black art. Let me start here. Similarly, one can attain the beta planets or the planets of the ancestors by performing a specific yagya. Similarly, one can go to many ghostly planets and become a yaksha, raksha, or pishacha. Pishacha worship is called black arts or black magic. There are many men who practice this black art and they think that it is spiritualism. But such activities are completely materialistic. Similarly, a pure devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead only achieves the planets of Vaikuntha and Krishna Loka without a doubt. It is very easy to understand through this important verse that if by simply worshipping the demigods one can achieve the heavenly planets, or by worshipping the Pitas, i.e. Forefathers, one can achieve the Pita planets, or by practicing the black arts achieve the ghostly planets, why can the pure devotee not achieve the planet of Krishna or Vishnu? So here clearly Prabhupada is making it clear that any black magic, any art will not take one to Vaikuntha. Right? It's a black art, black magic. So I gave a class about this, a long Sunday class about the different types of apadharmas. The Buddhist is apadharma because they speak religiously, but there's no God. And then you have these pastors or these priests that preach, but money is the goal, right? Money is the goal. Exploitation of people is the goal. And sometimes it extends. I mean, some people have sent me some very weird videos of pastors doing some nasty stuff in church. The goal is money. And then you have some religious, or so-called, as Prabhupada calls them, some religious practices where they practice black magic and then they call it spiritualist. Prabhupada, it's also, I spoke about that. This is also apadharma. So there's different types. Bhagavatam lists 5 types. So we should be, as Vaishnavas, we should be in a position to tell what is spiritual, what is not spiritual, what is Mishra Bhakti and what is not Mishra Bhakti, right? That's very important. I think previously I also gave an example, well, not really example. I mentioned the teachings of Lord Kapila, of Kapiladev, of how he describes Mishra Bhakti, Bhakti in the mode of passion, Bhakti in the mode of goodness, and Bhakti in the mode of what's missing? Ignorance, right? Bhakti in the mode of ignorance, or Bhakti mixed with ignorance, laziness, complaining all the time, morose, not happy. You ask them to do service, they're complaining. Why don't you ask this person? They have insomnia, they can't sleep at night. They can't find anything good with anybody. They find fault with anybody. So they're just like unhappy. But they're still chanting, they're still trying. Right? Then you have devotional service in the mode of passion, where somebody is always doing something but out of wanting to be seen. I address the duties beautifully, not so much because it's service to Krishna, because I want to be known as the most beautiful decorator. And when I sing bhajans, I go overboard, right? Because I mean, overboard. Decorations like that are nice in music, but sometimes it just goes way overboard. And people do it because I want to be seen. You take up a service because you want to be seen, you want to be appreciated, or you take up service because you are power hungry. Oh, this temple president, I don't like him, so I'm just gonna sneak myself in there and then boom, take over, right? This is passion. Passion is characterized by movement. And then you have devotional service in the mode of goodness, when one acknowledges, yes, I may be practicing the best type of spiritual practice, but I'm fallen. I'm a fallen jiva. I have no power. By the mercy of my spiritual master, somehow or the other, I find myself in the association of these wonderful people, these wonderful devotees in the worship of Krishna. I'm so fortunate. So those are the different types of attitudes. So you can see which one you fall under. So the purpose of Shastric study is to be able to discern what is religion and what is irreligion, including when somebody is sitting on the Vyasasan. As somebody who's done Bhakti Shastra, you should be able to tell if somebody is deviating from the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. And then Krishna continues, if one offers me with love and devotion a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept. So Krishna accepts even a simple offering. So Krishna he's satisfied by love, not luxury. We know there's many stories where devotees offer something small and then big results come. So what is important? The main ingredient is bhakti. The main ingredient is bhakti. To
Hare Krishna,
develop Krishna
Prabhuji.
consciousness is the highest perfection of life. Bhakti is mentioned twice in this verse in order to declare more emphatically that bhakti or devotional service is the only means to approach Krishna. No other condition, such as becoming a brahmana, a learned scholar, a very rich man, or a great philosopher, can induce Krishna to accept some offering. I know I've been invited. I've been invited to devotees' houses to take prasadam, and mostly this is the Indian community from India. So when you get invited to these places, some of them, they have a cook. I remember I went, and this one gentleman who had invited me, we sit there, and he has a cook who's cooking for him. And the cook is not a devotee. And I'm sitting there, I'm watching, and he's telling her, put this here, cook here, and then do this. And I'm sitting here, and I'm thinking, you want me to eat that? And she doesn't live with the guy, everywhere in his house, there's devotee. There's pictures of Krishna everywhere. Clearly, he's an initiated devotee. And then, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to embarrass the lady. And then after the lady finished cooking and then offering or whatever she was doing, because we were sitting there, going through the Gita, he had some questions I was answering, and he was also simultaneously giving instructions to the cook, because it was it wasn't a big apartment. And then after the lady goes, I told him, I'm not eating this. And it was opulent, very opulent. I'm not eating this. So if one offers me with love and devotion, there was no devotion for her. It's work, because she gets paid to do it. Okay, let's continue reading the same purport. No other condition, such as becoming a brahmana, a learned scholar, a very rich man, or great philosopher, can induce Krishna to accept some offering. Without the basic principle of bhakti, nothing can induce the Lord to agree to accept anything from anyone. Bhakti is never causal. The process is eternal. It is direct action in service to the absolute whole. Here, Lord Krishna, having established that he is the only enjoyer, the primeval Lord, and the real object of all sacrifices, he desires to be offered. If one wishes to engage in devotional service to the Supreme Lord, if one wishes to engage in the devotional service of the Supreme in order to be purified and to reach the goal of life, the transcendental loving service of God, then one should find out what the Lord desires of him. One who loves Krishna will give him whatever he wants. And he avoids offering anything which is undesirable or unmasked, including bogus philosophies. Thus, meat, fish, eggs should not be offered to Krishna. If he desires such things as offerings, he would have said so. Instead, he clearly requests that a leaf, a fruit, flowers, and water be given to him. And he says of this offering, I will accept it. Now, listen to what Prabhupada says. Again, you'll see in every Prabhupada attacks the Mayavad philosophers. Right? This is what he says. The impersonalist philosophers who wish to maintain that the absolute truth is without senses cannot comprehend this verse of Bhagavad Gita. To them, it is either a metaphor or proof of the mundane character of Krishna. So the Mayavadis have a very interesting way of understanding the Shastra or verses like this. And Prabhupada speaks about this in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's a dualistic, right? And one is a literal meaning, the other one is symbolic, as Prabhupada is saying. If they can't understand it, they default to the second meaning, right? But as you can see here, Prabhupada is not letting them get away with this cheating mindset. To them, it is either a metaphor or proof of the mundane character of Krishna, the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita. But in actuality, Krishna, the Supreme Godhead, has senses. Yesterday I spoke about this understanding that, you strip the Supreme of his personal attributes. You strip him down to his light, his energy, his love. And love means what? Give me what I want. But he's not a person. Right? So this is what Prabhupada is speaking about. So that the Mayavadis approach. But in actuality, Krishna, the Supreme Godhead, has senses, and it is stated that his senses are interchangeable. In other words, one sense can perform the function of any other. This is what it means to say that Krishna is absolute, lacking senses. He could hardly be considered full in all opulences. This point should be emphasized. And so, in this instance, Krishna's hearing the devotee's words of love in offering foodstuffs is wholly identical with his eating and actually tasting. So those words, when you offer prayers, you see what Prabhupada is saying. When you offer prayers, that's actually, there's a whole story behind this, but anyway, why we ring a bell. There's a pastime that I won't go into the detail of that. But when you ring a bell, Krishna comes. He's attracted. He hears a bell and he thinks, "Oh, my devotee is calling me," and he comes to eat. So he's a person. Again, that's the idea or the point of personhood, being a person. So don't think this is just it's a gimmick. This point should be emphasized because of his absolute position. His hearing is wholly identical with his eating and tasting. Only the devotee who accepts Krishna as he describes himself without interpretation can understand the supreme absolute truth, can eat food and enjoy it. Any other interpretation is bogus. Text number 27, Krishna is explaining that make all your action an offering. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you perform should be done as an offering. So you'll see that this verse has an element of karma yoga in it. So there's a Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks about Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks about Sharanagati and what is it? Sharanagati and anyway. So there are different levels of surrender, right? Just to simplify the example, that in the beginning phases of our spiritual practice, when we are not so spiritually advanced, just to give you a visual picture, we imagine walking with somebody on a road. So as Kanishtadikar, we walk in front of Krishna and Krishna is walking in front of us. So we offer, we cook and then we offer, but it's not really for Krishna, it's for us. It's lunchtime, I'm hungry, I have to eat something, so I cook something, I offer, and then I eat. So it's not really for Krishna, it's for us. Right? I do service with some type of return. So Krishna is the order carrier. Right? Krishna is my servant. I tell him what to do and he runs and he gets it for me. So I'm walking in front, and as a servant, Krishna is walking behind me. Now as a Madhyamadikar, you realize this is not proper. And then you walk with Krishna side by side. Krishna is your friend. And then, when you're an Uttama Adhikar, Krishna walks in front and you walk behind Krishna. So in the beginning, we perform service. We come to Mangalati like I used to do when I was a young brahmachari. Just because I wanted people to see I'm there every morning. Oh, he's such a serious brahmachari. He's there every morning for Mangalati. Oh, what a serious. It made me feel good, right? Or somebody cooks because it's still service because it's within the Bhakti realm. But I cook because I want praise. So there's an element of karma yoga in this verse. And by doing that activity, then one gets purified and slowly one can get to the point of the gopis where they say, whatever Krishna wants. Right? We all know the story. We've heard it many times of Gop Kumar. Was it Gop Kumar? Who was it now? Is it Gop Kumar? Yes, who was traveling around and he wanted to find who was the best devotee. So he went to different places. He went to the Pandavas and he said, Krishna has a headache. Can I get some dust? He needs the dust from your feet will cure his headache. And the Pandavas refused. What are you talking about? That's God. How can I take my dust and put my dust on God's head? You are insane. Get out of here. He went to everybody. And people refuse. There's no way. I should be taking the lotus feet of Krishna's dust. Even including the cowhead boys. They refused, the Gopas. But when he went to the gopis, they heard that Krishna had a headache and wanted the dust of their feet. They didn't hesitate. They said, take it, go, make sure, run, make sure Krishna is cured. That's pure devotional service, right? You don't do service because it's comfortable. You don't choose service that it's comfortable. You don't go on book distribution because it's difficult. People are not appreciative. People, you know, in West Africa, people are nice. People are, at least people are polite. Here in South Africa, it's a different story. It's a different story. You know, I remember once I went on a book distribution, somebody grabbed a Bhagavad Gita and hit me on the head with it. What nonsense is this? And not just like a little bit, you know, like hardcover Bhagavad Gita on the head. It's difficult, right? And so the easiest thing to do would be, no, Prabhu, I'll just do backup service, as it's difficult out there. So we choose the easy way out. But the gopis are not like that. Prabhupada wasn't like that, right? An old man, 70 years old. He didn't want to come to America, but he did it anyway. You know, he was in Vrindavan chanting, everything was fine. And his spiritual master kept telling him, coming in dreams, go to America, go to America. He wasn't giving him any peace. And eventually Prabhupada came. So this idea of comfort is what kills us as devotees. We choose an easy. Serving with this devotee is very difficult, so I'll choose to avoid him. When in fact, serving with that person will give you so much growth. And then by doing these services, and then our daily life is turned into devotion. Every little thing becomes turned into service. When we make all our actions and all our offerings as a service to Krishna. And we may not be there, and we are not there, but gradually by the chanting and the process, as Prabhupada is saying, everything will be okay. What's the time? And then, text number 28, purification through devotion. In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. Although there's an element of karma yoga to it, although it's not pure devotional service, although you are doing service with all these things, with all these desires and attachment, Krishna is saying, gradually you'll be liberated and come to me. This karma yoga will become pure devotional service. Rupa Goswami says that as long as we are in this material world, we have to act. We cannot cease acting. So even if you, let's say book distribution is difficult, you can't, you want to go out and book distribution, you don't want to, you're hiding in the temple doing backup or whatever. It's not that backup is a nice service, but preaching is much more important. And then you sit at the temple, things will get difficult. Krishna will not let you off easy, right? You'll always find difficulty wherever, because Krishna is always, giving us an opportunity to grow. Actually situated in renunciation, such activities clear the mirror of the mind. And as the actor gradually makes progress in spiritual realization, he becomes completely surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, at the end, he becomes liberated, and this liberation is also specified. By this liberation, he does not become one with the Brahma Jyoti, but rather enters into the planet of the Supreme Lord. It is clearly mentioned here, Mam Upasyasi, he comes to me, back home, back to Godhead. So there you have it. There are different later. Okay. Yeah, so gradually, it happens gradually. So one also should not be at the same time too hard on themselves, because I know sometimes when we practice and we have difficulties, we start condemning ourselves. So be patient. That's mentioned. You did the nectar of instruction, and patience, Prabhupada explains, is one of those qualities. People sometimes beat themselves over the head. Too fallen, this and that. All right, so it is now 12:27 my time. Now, listen to this. A person who is thus always engaged in the service of the Lord, or is always thinking and planning how to serve the Lord, is to be considered completely liberated at present. And in the future, his going back home, back to Godhead, is guaranteed. He is above all materialistic criticism, just as Krishna is above all criticism. Prabhupada defines, this is Prabhupada's definition of pure devotion, of a pure devotee. He gives this very same definition in the Nectar of Instruction. There's no like hodgepodge, mysterious stuff. No. Prabhupada is making it very, very clear what the result of offering and doing all these services are. Gradually, the thinking of Krishna increases. We're always making plans to serve the deities better, right? He's liberated. Those are the conditions. Not that he has to know verses or he has to walk like this on air, or it's very practical like that. So are there any questions before we take a break?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dada Pranam.
Yes,
please,
Prabhuji.
I have a question. There's a place, an illustration you were giving, where you said, when you don't like a temple president and then you don't attend to his lectures, you don't attend to his class, that it might affect you. I wanted to ask a question there. My question is
No, let's go back. I said it might affect you.
Yes, that because you don't like his lectures, you might not serve Krishna properly, because anytime temple president comes, you leave the class because he has come. Something like that. So, and I actually have a question there. Hare Krishna Prabhu, are you there?
Yeah. So just to clarify here. So I don't think that's what I said. I did use the example of temple president. Like if somebody is that was yesterday's discussion, right?
No, Prabhu, it's today's discussion. We were discussing of devotional service in the categories, the modes.
Okay, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's today's discussion.
You have to give context.
Yes, actually, you didn't say that. What you said is not like that. It's the devotional service in the mode of fasting. And you were explaining that people perform devotional service in the mode of fasting in a passionate way, to the extent that they want to be seen in the service they are doing, and that the temple president, you don't like the temple president, you want to do something to take over the temple president's position. That is in the mode of fasting way. You didn't say it affects someone.
Yes. So go on, Elvis. But go on back to Elvis. It's important that you repeat what I said properly, because otherwise there becomes confusion. Words are very important. So thank you for clarifying that, Purushottam. So you can ask your question, Dr. Elvis, after the clarification. All right. It is now 12:33. We can come back after. We'll come back at 12:45. So that's like 12 minutes. Hare Krishna. Okay. Let's start with some questions. What is the main limitation of worshipping the demigods? Text 20 to 21. What is the main limitation of worshipping the demigods?
Prabhu,
Yes,
Prabhu, please.
Raghupati?
When you worship the demigods, you go to the planets of the demigods. You enjoy for some time some pious merit for some time, and then you come back to this earth.
Yes. And so what's the word for that? Very good, very good. What's the word for that? Temporary.
Temporary.
So you're very right. Yeah, you're very right. The word for that, it's the results are temporary. Very well done. Okay. So text 29, right? This is that where we ended off? Yes, 29. Right. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I'm also a friend to him. One may question here that if Krishna is equal to everyone and no one is his special friend, then why does he take a special interest in the devotees who are always engaged in his transcendental service? But this is not discrimination, it is natural. Any man in this material world may be very charitably disposed, yet he has a special interest in his own children. The Lord claims that every living entity, in whatever form, is his son. And so he provides everyone with a generous supply of the necessities of life. He is just like a cloud which pours rain all over, regardless of whether it falls on rock or land or water. But for his devotees, he gives specific attention. Such devotees are mentioned here. They are always in Krishna consciousness. And therefore, they are always transcendentally situated in Krishna. In other words, the result of the previous two verses. That karma yoga translated into pure devotional service, as Krishna said, liberation, and then this is what happens. The very phrase Krishna conscious suggests that those who are in such consciousness are living transcendentalists situated in him. The Lord says here distinctly, Ma'i te, they are in me. Naturally, as a result, the Lord is also in them. This is reciprocal. This also explains the word ye yatamam prapadyate tam tatang tams tataiva bhajamyaham. So the Lord is equal to all, but specially kind to his devotees. He's impartial, samohang sarvabhuteshu, but reciprocates towards devotional service with special care. And Prabhupada explains why. That even the most charitable person still disposed towards their own children. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. Prabhupada says in the purport. As far as possible, a devotee is very cautious so that he does not do anything I lost my place again. As far as possible, a devotee is very cautious so that he does not do anything that could disrupt his whole progressive realization of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes, however, it may be seen that a person in Krishna consciousness commits some act which may be taken as most abominable socially or politically. But such temporary fall down does not disqualify him. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that if a person falls down but is wholeheartedly engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord being situated in his heart purifies him and excuses him from the abomination. The material contamination is so strong that even a yogi fully engaged in the service of the Lord sometimes becomes ensnared. But Krishna consciousness is so strong that such an occasional fall down is at once rectified. Therefore, the process of devotional service is always success. No one should deride a devotee for some accidental fall down from the path, from the ideal path. For as explained in the next verse, such occasional fall down will be stopped in due course, as soon as a devotee is completely situated in Krishna consciousness. The word sadhur eva, he is saintly, are very emphatic. They are a warning to the non-devotees that because of an accidental fall down, a devotee should not be derided. He should still be considered saintly even if he has accidentally fallen down. And the word mantabya is still more emphatic. If one does not follow this rule and derides a devotee for his accidental fall down, then one is disobeying the order of the Supreme Lord. The only qualification of a devotee is to be unflinchingly and exclusively engaged in devotional service. Now, listen to this. On the other hand, one should not misunderstand that a devotee in transcendental devotional service can act in all kinds of abominable ways. This verse only refers to an accident due to the strong power of material connections. Devotional service is more or less a declaration of war against the illusory energy. As long as one is not strong enough to fight the illusory energy, there may be accidental fall downs. But when one is strong enough, he is no longer subjected to such fall downs. As previously explained, no one should take advantage of this verse and commit nonsense and think that he is still a devotee. If he does not improve in his character by devotional service, then it is to be understood that he is not a high devotee. So we should be careful to not misuse this verse and break rules, the regulative principles, and say Krishna will forgive us. Only for mistakes, not as a habit. Krishna says, he quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace, O son of Kunti. Declared boldly that my devotee perishes. This should not be understood. This should not be misunderstood. In the 7th chapter, the Lord says that one who is engaged in mischievous activities cannot become a devotee of the Lord. One who is not a devotee of the Lord has no good qualifications whatsoever. The question remains then, how can a person engage in abominable activities either by accident or by intention be a pure devotee? This question may be justly raised. The miscreants, as stated in the 7th chapter, who never come to the devotional service of the Lord, have no good qualification. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, generally a devotee who is engaged in the 9 kinds of devotional service or activities is engaged in the process of cleansing all material contamination from the heart. He puts the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, and all sinful contaminations are naturally washed away. Continuously thinking of the Supreme Lord makes him pure by nature. According to the Vedas, there is a certain regulation that if one falls down from his exalted position, he has to undergo certain ritualistic processes to purify himself. But here there is no such condition, because the purifying process is already there in the heart of the devotee, due to his remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly. Therefore, the chanting of the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare should be continued without stoppage. This will protect a devotee from all accidental fall downs. He will thus remain perpetually free from all material contamination. So Prabhupada is giving the secret there. You don't want to fall down, you want to stay Krishna conscious, then your sadhana is important. Everything begins with chanting. Prabhupada is giving. Your sadhana is important. Getting up in the morning, attending the morning program, whether you live in the temple or at home. At home you can have a small shortened version of Mangalarti, but everybody should have some strong sadhana. And Prabhupada says here, this will protect the devotee from all accidental fall downs. So strong sadhana is a real thing. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, and Shudras, can attain the supreme destination. It is clearly declared here by the Supreme Lord that in devotional service there is no distinction between the lower and higher classes of people. In the material conception of life, there are such divisions. But for a person engaged in transcendental devotional service to the Lord, there are not. Everyone is eligible for supreme destination. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that even the lowest, who are called chandalas, dog eaters, can be purified by association with a pure devotee. Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sastri. Right? Therefore, devotional service, and the guidance of a devotee are so strong that there is no discrimination between the lower and higher classes of men. Anyone can take it. The most simple man taking shelter of the pure devotee can be purified by proper guidance. According to the different modes of material nature, men are classified in the mode of goodness, brahmanas, the mode of passion, kshatriyas or administrators, the mixed modes of passion and ignorance, vaishyas or merchants, and the mode of ignorance, shudras or workers. Those lower than them are called chandalas, and they are born in sinful families. Generally, the association of those born in sinful families is not accepted by the higher classes. But the process of devotional service is so strong that the pure devotees of the Lord can enable people of all the lower classes to attain the highest perfection of life. This is possible only when one takes shelter of Krishna, as indicated here by the word vyapasritya. One has to take shelter completely of Krishna. Then one can become much greater than the Gyanis and the Yogis. So Prabhupada is making a distinction here, or the Achenta Beda Beda, simultaneous oneness and difference. Right? On one hand, you have the spiritual equality. We're all one. We're all spiritual beings. However, materially, we are all situated differently. And Prabhupada gives the criteria for judging this difference. Right? And what is that criteria? It is the quality of the person. One may not birth, but the quality of the person. And just like he made the same point in the second, third chapter. So if one is in the mode of goodness, one is a Brahmana. One is in the mode of passion, so on and so on. So Prabhupada is making it clear here that devotional service, as we've discussed previously, is not based on birth. Irrespective of where one is born, when one takes to Krishna consciousness, and not only takes to Krishna consciousness, but practices it, then one becomes situated in the transcendental platform. Not material birth, but at the same time also not artificial equality at the same time. Because it doesn't make any sense. One person is more intelligent than the other person. One person can run faster than the other person. One person has all their teeth, the other person doesn't have all their teeth. One person is male, the other person is female. So there is a difference. So this is the beauty of Achenda Beda Beda Tattva, that there's a difference is there, but we focus on the oneness. Right? Prabhupada Krishna speaks about knowledge in the different modes. Knowledge in the mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. And I discussed this with you previously, that generally speaking, you will find that people that are in the mode of, so knowledge in the mode of ignorance, people that are in the mode of ignorance have no understanding of what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. People in the mode of passion, they see more difference than they see oneness. Right? This is what Krishna is saying. And people in the mode of passion, people in the mode of passion see difference more than they see oneness. People in the mode of goodness see oneness more than they see difference. And so you also see, this is also a growing trend in our movement, in some parts of our movement, where birth is becoming a criteria. You are born in a certain family, you are not qualified. So people are not going according to the orders of the spiritual master, where you determine the psychophysical nature of the person, irrespective of birth. So devotees should not accept half-baked philosophy that is not based on the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. You should not accept, see the word Shastra, we've discussed this previously. The word Shastra means to control. And there's two ways of controlling, right? There's Shastra and there's Shastra. One is controlling by force, just like what's happening in Iran between Israel and the United States. So that's brute force, right? You speak, you discuss, nothing comes of it, and then it becomes force. That's one way of dealing with, of controlling people. Governments do the same thing also. Every government does the same thing. You keep on you drive on a certain side of the road. If you break that rule, you go to jail. Your car get confiscated, right? Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry, I got distracted there. I lost my train of thought. What were we discussing again? All right, so we'll move on.
You're
That means
talking
nobody
about
was paying attention.
someone's driving and then got arrested.
Yeah, but what was the context of that?
That was Sastra. You explaining Sastra and
Very good, very good. You're paying
yeah.
attention. Yes. So Shastra means to control. So one way of controlling people is by force. Military using force. Somebody breaks the rules of the road, they get arrested. That's force. They get put in a police car and they go to jail. It's force. The other way is controlling people by knowledge. And unless people understand this divine knowledge, this Shastra that's given to us, the teachings given by our Acharya Srila Prabhupada, people will find themselves in very difficult situations. And so this is why, Chaitanya Prema Prabhu and others are making the effort to have these courses so you don't get cheated. That was the point. So rather be controlled by Shastra rather than by by bogus philosophy. And Shastra means if somebody says something, you check Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. All these things have to align. If they don't align, then the philosophy is not exactly what was taught. How much more of this, how much this is so of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. Irrespective of who you are, become a devotee. As we said, Rupa Goswami says in the Nectar of Devotion, all these other stuff, Vanashram, Gyan, birth, all these things are not a consideration. And then Krishna ends. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, above everything else. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me. By being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Radhanath Maharaj was once asked a question. Maharaj, describe or define devotional service in one word. And Maharaj kept while, for he thought for a little bit. And he said, yes, one word. And that word is absorption. Absorption. Krishna consciousness. Yes, absorption. Absorption. This is the definition according to Radhanath Maharaj of devotional service. But I can go even further and say that we are all absorbed. Every morning, every second, every moment, we are absorbed in something. You're absorbed in anger, you're absorbed in jealousy, you're absorbed in resentment, you're absorbed in joy, you're absorbed in appreciating other devotees, other people, you're absorbed in... What are you absorbed in? Everybody is absorbed at every stage of the moment. So the idea is to turn that absorption into Krishna consciousness. That's the whole point of these series of verses that we've been reading. So we must always, our thinking, because the mind means the thinking, like Arjuna says in the 6th chapter, the most important ingredient is the mind. Now Prabhupada opens this purport with like a very powerful sentence. In this verse, it is clearly indicated that Krishna consciousness is the only means of being delivered from the clutches of this materially contaminated world. It's amazing, right? It's the only means. And I explained this before, how karma yoga, and Nectar of Devotion explains this, karma yoga gives pious results and all of those nice stuff. Jnana yoga and Astanga yoga dissolves the subtle body, but it doesn't dissolve the desire, which is like very, very subtle. It's only bhakti that can dissolve everything. An example that's given is like a coconut, right? So a coconut, when it's ripe, the insides, they separate from the outside. So the soul, in its maturity, separates from its identification with matter. Okay, any questions? One should be thinking of Krishna in devotional love. That is bhakti. One should cultivate the knowledge of Krishna continuously. What is that favorable cultivation? It is to learn from a bona fide teacher. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we have several times explained that his body is not material but spiritual. So therefore one should engage the mind in the eternal form, his mind in the eternal form, the primal form of Krishna, with conviction in his heart that Krishna is the Supreme. Now, Prabhupada also ends it with, he opens this verse very powerfully, but he also ends it very powerfully. He says, therefore, the intelligent person should take directly to the process of Krishna consciousness and live happily in this material world. He will eventually receive the supreme award of Krishna. Prabhupada said, live happily in this material world. Susukam kartum abhyaya. Devotional service is engaged in a blissful format. So this is a symptom of somebody who's actually making spiritual progress, is they are happy in their spiritual life. They're not overburdened or overridden by resentment and anger or whatever comes with them. So this is, again, remember we said in the Nectar of Devotion, happiness is a measure of one's spiritual progress. Prabhupada is saying the same thing here, to the point where one can actually live in the material world happily. It's interesting because you'll hear devotees say, nobody can be happy in this material world. And Prabhupada says one can live happily in this material world. But the consciousness has to be right. And one has to be guided by Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Okay, any questions, comments? That's the end of the chapter. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the most confidential knowledge. All right. So now what we're going to do is I am going to ask you to do a little exercise. Be about 5-10 minutes. So I want you to write 5 things that you do on a daily basis. 5 things that you do. Right? Whether it's walking or whatever it is at work, the type of work that you do. And then you write in practical terms how that activity can be offered to Krishna. So you write 5 normal activities, whether it's eating, studying, working, whatever. And next to each, you write how that can be offered to Krishna. So we're starting now.
Prabhu, come again. Next story. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
They say 5 activities that 5 activities that we do every day. And next story is what?
How that activity can be offered to Krishna.
Okay.
I see Bhakta Onyeko is dressed very nicely and classy today. What, were you went to church or something? I've noticed that some people, when I ask questions or there's an exercise, they log off. Now I'm going to start with a new rule. If you are doing an exercise and you log off, you should not attend my next class. So Elvis dropped off. Pranapriya dropped off. Who else dropped off? 3 people dropped off. Or 2 people dropped off. Pranapriya and Bhakta Elvis dropped off. All right. So if you're finished, you can offer your list. Purushottam Yatra Prabhu. You are muted. We can't hear you.
Hare Krishna. So these are my list of activities of the day. I wake up early in the morning and take my bath. Also chant some rounds of japa. That is 2. 3. Wake up Srila Prabhupada. 4. Dress Srila Prabhupada. And the 5th one is clean the temple room and the surrounding. And all these activities can be offered to Krishna with love and devotion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Who's next? Raghupati, you are next.
Oh, please.
Go ahead.
Oh, please.
Speak a little louder, Raghupati. And send my greetings to your father.
Bro, please, I didn't hear anything.
Okay. Who heard something? Okay, maybe let's just stop here. We'll just stop here.
Okay,
And then
question. None of what's in your papa. Obiam Position.
I repeated myself like 4 times, including with Balabhadra. So I'm not going to repeat myself for the 5th time. So we will just end here because there's no hand. Nobody is okay. Balabhadra, Prabhu.
Eating. I eat every day and I offer it to Krishna, to Krishna.
Okay.
Reading, I read Krishna books. Then talking, I talk about Krishna to people.
Okay.
Working,
Very nice.
working, when I work, I earn money. I have to give part of my labor to Krishna as an offering. Music.
Nice.
I listen to Krishna's music.
Bro.
Music.
Yeah, just wait,
dancing.
Raghupati. Let Balabhadra finish first, Raghupati.
Dancing, then I dance Krishna. I dance for Krishna. Krishna, then I relating to people, and I relate to people and discuss about Krishna also.
Very nice. Yes, so all those activities can be done. Thank you, Prabhu. Isana Goranga and then Raghupati.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Deity worship. I perform deity worship daily by offering prayers, incense, and service to Krishna. And this activity is directly offered to Krishna because it is done with devotion and humility and recognizing him as the supreme Lord and Master of my life. Nice. Again, I chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day to purify my heart and remember Krishna. And this activity is also offered to Krishna by chanting attentively and sincerely, focusing my mind on his holy name and seeking his mercy. Moreover, as a teacher, I teach my students with dedication and patience. And this activity can be offered to Krishna by seeing teaching as a service and helping students gain knowledge and good character and doing my work honestly and as offering to Krishna. So in Gita 9:27, Krishna says, whatever you do, do it as an offering to me. So I'm doing my teaching as an offering to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Raghupati, your turn.
Okay, Prabhu. Every morning when I wake up, I try to do service by waking the Lord up, and then when I'm off to school, whilst I'm walking, my walking is that I have to go to the temple in order to pay obeisance and then seek the blessings of the Lord before I go to school. And sometimes in our school we do guitar. So sometimes when there's no teacher, I try to go there and then at least help the teachers. At this point, I try to help my fellow colleagues and the schoolmates what Krishna is and how they can serve Krishna, both in if even if you are not even if you are not devotee, you can apply the information. And also after the end of school, I try to go back to the temple to see Krishna. When I'm talking to people about Krishna Katha in a good manner so that they can also learn something from it. And also to show that people don't try to judge me by saying that I'm giving the knowledge but I'm not following what I say.
Very good. Very good. Well done. You'll be a great devotee one day. Anybody here has a job? Anybody here has a job? I'm curious, like if you wake up in the morning, you drive to work, you have an office at work. I think Isana Goranga Prabhu mentioned it these students, but how he does that. So Balabhadra Prabhu, you have your hand up. Balabhadra Prabhu.
I Krishna, where I stay, outside you, I make it as a temple, to form a temple, so I can perform a devotional service. This is my altar.
Very nice.
This is my altar here.
Thanks for the darshan. Yes, it's
I
beautiful.
see
Nice.
devotee, we play with me, we eat prasada together, we chant. So no Shia, no Shia, no BB Shia here. We sit on the floor, we hear lecture, we read together. Just as temple, as a temple, so that is it.
Looks very clean, Prabhu. Very, very clean. Well done. Looks very clean and neat. Is that a temple or is that your home?
Yes. We practice what I practice in temple. I try to repeat it here.
So I'm asking, is that a temple? Is that a temple or a center, or is that your house?
Your home? It's a house and it's a center. I don't have a house. Anywhere I stay, you make the place as a temple where we can preach Krishna consciousness.
Nice. Just like what's his name in Ogun.
So that is it.
Yeah. Very nice. Well, so your home is a temple and a home at the same time.
Yes, sir. Yes, Prabhu.
Very nice.
So that's it.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Where are you? Where you situated? To create something to be for the devotee, to establish a work for the devotee. So after I finish, we create a center that we can manufacture things and use to support the temple.
Yes, practical stuff. I like that. Practical stuff. Yeah. You don't get Krishna's blessings by sitting down. You get things done. So I appreciate that. You have to get things done. We have to have plans in place to get things done, not just sitting down. Prabhupada wasn't like a sitting down kind of a person. He was always going out there doing things and shaking the world. So it's quite encouraging. Where are you situated, Prabhu? Which state?
Ikorodu. Lagos. Ikorodu.
Oh.
Along the new side. Along the ISKCON new site, Lagos new site, along the ISKCON new site. We have a new site we are about to build the communities. So I stay along that area.
In Lagos? I didn't know that. Yeah. So you found a space? You found a place?
Barad also constructed the place. We bought the place. It's along my place there, very big area, and acres. So they try to build it.
Wonderful. That's nice. It's very nice because that space that we have there in Lagos is very small.
So there's an acre of land, and we bought it, and they are trying to develop it as a Christian community center.
Wonderful. Actually, I'll call Maharaj. I'll call him today. I can't. I'll call him sometime in the week. Chat with him. But thank you very much, dear devotees, and thank you for sharing. We should also be careful. While everything can be dovetailed in Krishna's service, we should also be careful that we are responsible. I had a devotee who, in the name of dovetailing everything in Krishna's service, he had an office, he had a nice job. So he would go there, and instead of doing his job, he would be reading Bhagavad Gita at his desk, pretending that he's busy, he's doing Bhagavad Gita. And then he got caught. Because his work, the quality of his work decreased, because he's studying the Gita, but he's also not really paying a lot of attention to his work. So the quality went down, and he got caught reading instead of doing his work, and he was fired. So we have to also be careful that we don't become careless in our attempt to reconcile everything under Krishna's lotus feet. So with those words, I will offer my respects and then log off, and then we'll see you next week. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Have a nice